a program is great unless you don't know how to get the most out of it. So let's talk about how to read your workouts. More specifically, let's talk about how to read your volume for each workout and then what you should aim for on an intensity scale. So reading your volume. This is going to look like a number, X, and then a range. This is sets times your rep range. Sets is just going to be like how many rounds you're going to do with a rest break in between before moving on to another exercise. Reps is always going to be a range because I know that you have different equipment, you have different energy levels that day. First, you're going to aim for the rule of 2 within that rep range. The rule of 2 is you go until the last 2 reps are a struggle. Struggle can be lots of burn sensation in that muscle group, or it's hard for you to get through that exercise with good form, a struggle. If that struggle is not reached within that given rep range, then you know for the next set, yes, you can change in the next set. You need to intensify it. Can we increase the range of motion? Can we increase your tempo somehow? Can we do something to up the intensity? If you're obviously hitting a struggle before the given rep range, then you know next time maybe we scale it back a little bit. For tempo, this is one way that you can increase the difficulty, especially if you are not given a tempo. This is adding time to the eccentric contraction. You always want to do slower reps because more time under tension means more work for the muscles. But the lengthening contraction of that exercise is where you really want to focus your time and attention. If you don't know that exercise, Google eccentric contraction of squat, eccentric contraction of deadlift. Whatever you're doing, I don't want to waste your time every single exercise. So if you know that exercise you need to add something, give it a little Google. Another term you might see ever so often is RIR. This is reps in reserve. RIR is given every once in a while when we have a goal of really pushing the limits. So typically you would see 2 to 4 RIR, reps in reserve. Another way you can think of this is just reps in the tank before failure. Don't worry, I know that you probably have never hit your limit before and you don't know what your levels are. In the beginning of a cycle or just whenever you feel like you need to test your limits, you can complete an AMRAP. This would be as many reps as possible using the exercise that you have. So let's give an example of you have squats for 3 sets of 6 to 10. You don't know what your struggle is, so you're going to grab whatever weights you think are gonna fit into that 6 to 10 rep range, and then you're going to complete as many reps as possible until failure, until you cannot get those weights up overhead, you cannot get that booty down to the ground in a squat. You're going until failure. If you blow yourself out of the water within that range, you know you've been cutting yourself short and vice versa. If you are not able to hit that rep range, we know we need to scale it back next time. You can always do this for the first set. Make sure you give yourself a good long rest break at like 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and then you would hit the next set. You don't have to do this every time. You just might want to do this more in the beginning if you are learning what your actual limits are and you're not selling yourself short. Last but not least is knowing what to do with unilateral exercises. This is simply an exercise that might have a single arm or a single leg. First, start on the weaker side and match your reps over to the other side. So if it's a single arm press, you're gonna hit your reps, and then even if you can do more on the stronger side, you're just gonna stop at whatever the rep range was for the first side so that we even out any discrepancies. Also, the given reps are 2 to 1. This means that whatever I give you the reps, that's what you hit on one side. So if you hit 8 reps on this side, you're gonna hit 8 reps on the other side. You're not doing 8 total. That would only be 4 reps. Think about it.